tracking you. So now I just want to talk about this final thing, just your relationship with students and what is and isn't okay. Okay. This is part of what the district is asking me for to talk to you guys specifically about. And that's reckless driving or speeding, things like that. A couple of districts have gone so far as to have the students download apps on their phones to navigate with you and track your speeds, how fast you turn, all of the quality of driving. So then it reports back to us and they say, you know, remove this person from the district. So even if we aren't monitoring you, the districts have every right to enforce these policies and track you on their own. And sometimes they do. So I just suggest, and this is with all students and regular people, just, you know, don't do road rage. Don't speed to a place. Most of the time, we're going to make your time worthwhile. You don't have to rush everywhere to make money. Okay. And it's really important that you don't, because it actually works against you. I don't know how many of you try to speed and then get caught, like arrested by the policeman for trying to get somewhere fast, but you're going 25 over. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to buy like a PlayStation or something like that. It was really hard to get them. And there was one place that had them. And I went crazy fast and I got pulled over. And the guy even said to me, well, how do you like it now? Someone's probably going to buy that machine or whatever, because I'm sitting here wasting your time because you were trying to get there fast. You would have already been here now. And that kind of stuck with me. I still got the PlayStation. It's not an issue. He was wrong. They saved it for me. Everything was fine. But that's the kind of the thing. Like sometimes slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Fast is sometimes slow, if that makes any sense. And then as far as the relationship with the student, how do you handle a student's bad behavior? How do you handle a student's good behavior? How do you even handle a student? Well, here's some no-nos, things that we definitely cannot do. And I ask that you don't stop at the bank, stop to get gas, stop to get food, or stop to go to the bathroom. If you have to do these things, do them before or after. If you can't do them after, do them before. Message dispatch, say, I have to stop at the bank because then I have to go and get a cup of coffee and then I'm gonna go pick up the kid. I would much rather you guys tell us that and then go pick up the kid late than to do that with the kid in the car, okay? Because if anything you do with the student turns into a report, even if it's good, bad, or in between, it all turns into a he said, she said, and it just isn't worth it in the end. No charity to students. So if a student asks, hey, can you stop off at a breakfast place or somewhere afterwards, these kids won't starve if you don't help them. Your answer to that is, I cannot do this. I have to take you to your destination. Some students will say, I want to have my friend come in the car. To that, you also say no. The only people that can go in the car are the people on your list. Now, here's kind of the caveat, or like, here's a unique situation. When you on site and a student comes up to your car and asks you, this is my car, can I come in? And you don't have them on your list, you can't tell them no. The first thing you have to say is, let me talk with my dispatcher. So if you're not sure that you have a student or not, sometimes during the busy hours, we get backed up. So we don't see that, or we don't move the student to your order list right away. So just send a message to dispatch and we're immediately going to respond and say, take the student. It's going to save a no load. It's going to save us 35 minutes because you're right there doing the order. If you miss the student and leave, we're not going to ask you to turn around because you didn't look at your stuff. But I'm hoping if we get the on-site, we look at the list and then we know who's on our list. And even if there's somebody who we aren't sure of, we ask dispatch. There's no way we're going to miss students. Okay. So no friends in the taxi. If a student asks you, can you drop me off a couple blocks because it's beautiful out and I want to go for a walk and skip down the block to my house? No, you can't. You cannot do that. You have to take them from the pickup to the drop off. That's the job. Okay. That's the service that we provide. I've had grandma saying, I saw him walk down the block when he should have been at the door in the driveway coming out. And when I talked with the driver, it was something along the lines that the kid wanted to walk home. And you just can't let that happen, okay? Because then it turns into something that can really harm us, but not necessarily us. Usually it's, I don't want this driver working on the district. No more district rides for them. And then as far as talking with students is concerned, we've had instances of sexual harassment where the student themselves didn't like a couple of drivers and said, this driver is saying things to me. When there's issues like this, American Taxi is about due process. We won't immediately just pull you off because somebody says something happened. We do our investigation. We get all of the documentation from the school. We do our own investigation here. We bring you in, we talk about it. Most of the time on the day of an incident like this, I would remove you from rides from the district, but not necessarily all rides until we get to the bottom of it. So there is always a level of protection and support. And the more that you work with us whenever a child isn't behaving, or a child brings food and eats that food in your car and you really don't like it and they're making a mess, all I ask is that you finish the drive and then respond to dispatch, because we'll say to the district, this is unacceptable. So we're never going to leave you guys alone to make your own decision. We don't ask you to turn around and tell the student, don't eat in my car. We don't expect that. We expect that you tell us and we'll take care of it, because anytime you say something directly to a student that might be disciplinary or otherwise, it turns into, we don't want this driver working in the district, okay? So it's really, really important that we start getting in the idea of, if a staff member or a student comes up to the car at the school and says, you've got this student, let me talk to my dispatch. Students are talking to you or saying, just telling you about their life. It's very easy that you can cross a personal boundary with students. It can happen quick and you might not even be aware of it because you were just talking nice. It seemed the student wanted to share information. So the best thing I could suggest in that manner is to just say, that's nice. If they say something about anything, their friends, or they're having an issue and they're telling you all this stuff, just say to them, that's nice. Keep it as simple as that. That's the best thing. You don't want to ignore them. You can talk to them, but don't be too personal with the questions. And then if they are wearing a jacket or something that looks nice, we've had drivers who said, oh, you look nice in that jacket, and then all of a sudden they're out. They can't do school rides anymore. But then we've had other drivers who go, that jacket looks nice. And the difference is they're talking about the jacket and not how the person looks in it. Big difference, believe it or not. Students won't, they have no claim to any sort of harassment. So I just say, no charity to students. Keep it very light. Don't let them tell you where to go as far as when to drop off or to get food. If they're behaving badly, contact us afterwards. We'll always make sure that you guys are covered.